Lump ores are becoming increasingly scarce and generally have poorer properties for the blast furnace of burden. For this reason, it is used mainly as a cheap replacement for pellets. For high productivity, low coke rate blast furnace operation, the maximum lump ore rate is in the range of 10 to 15%. The achievable rate depends on lump ore quality and successful use of higher percentages is known. The present chapter deals with overburden quality. Now we study in depth regarding iron ore as a current topic. Iron is the fourth most abundant element in the earth crust, making up approximately 5% of the total. However, mining of iron is only economical viable where substantial concentration has occurred, and only then it can be referred to as iron ore. More than 3 billion years ago, through the generation of banded iron formation, the first concentration occurred. The conventional concept is that in those days, banded iron layers were formed in seawater as the result of an increase in oxygen to form insoluble iron oxides, which precipitated out, alternating with mud, which later formed charred silicate layers. For more detail, you may closely examine the picture. Subsequently, leaching out of the chards and silicates resulted in a concentration of the iron oxide, and through further geological processes such as hydration, inversion, leaching, deformation and sedimentation, a wide variety of iron ore deposits have been created all around the world. Those total over 300 billion tons at an average iron content of 47%. A minor fraction of these deposits are currently commercially mined as iron ore with Fa contents ranging from as low as 30% up to 64%. Pure iron oxide has hematite contents 70% iron only. As mentioned before, an efficient blast furnace process requires a rich Fe burden, preferably in excess of 58%. This material also needs to be within certain size fraction suitable for pelletizing or as lump ore in the between 8 mm to 40 mm for direct charge. Consequently, the majority of the mined ore requires beneficiation and processing prior to becoming a usable material for blast furnace. This comprises as a minimum crushing and screening, but most of the time also operating and sometimes processing such as pelletizing at the mine site. A vast amount of equipment has been developed to economically upgrade the iron ore to a suitable product. This process will not be described here, but most of them are based on liberating the iron oxide from gangue minerals and then making use of differences in density, magnetic properties, or surface properties between these minerals to separate them. Sometimes vast amount of silica needed to be removed, or minor amounts of impurities such as phosphorus in the mineral apatite. Depending upon the specific requirements, these processes can be achieved or they can be impossible. The process results in a wide variety of beneficiated iron ores with varying grades and impurities to be chosen from. Silica content can vary between 0.6% to 10% and phosphorus from below 0.05% to above 1%. Similar variations apply for other components such as alumina, lime, magnesium, manganese, titanium, and alkalis. With a tighter environmental control over the whole process chain, tramp elements at minute levels are starting to play a more dominant role, from sulfur, zinc, and copper to mercury, arsenic, and vanadium. The importance of these elements greatly depends on the applied process and process conditions, environmental measures, and local legislation of where the ores are to be used. Together with the coal, coke, and other plant revert materials, the blast furnace requires a certain burden composition to achieve a balance with respect to all the above elements. Quality demands for the blast furnace burden. The demands for the blast furnace burden extend to chemical composition and the physical durability of the burden materials. The chemical composition must be such that after the reduction and melting process, the correct iron and slag composition are produced, and this will be determined by the chemical composition of all the materials charged in the furnace. Physical aspects of the quality demands are related to the properties in the both cold and the hot state, and both aspects are discussed in this chapter. Generation of fines, reducibility, softening, and melting. In the shaft zone of the blast furnace, the permeability of the burden is determined by the amount of fines. Fines may be defined as the fraction of material under 5 mm. Since the burden components have a general range of 5 to 25 mm, if there are too many fines, the wide fraction used for the transport of the reduction gas will be reduced and will affect the bulk gas flow through the burden. There are two sources for fines: those who are directly charged into the furnace and those that are generated in the shaft by the process. For detailed analysis, please refer the picture. During the first reduction step from hematite to magnetite, the structure of the burden materials weakens and fines are generated. Sinter and lump ores are especially prone to this effect, known as reduction disintegration. The reduction disintegration depends on the strength of the bonds between the particles of the ore fines in the center and lump. Generally speaking, the reduction disintegration is depends on following factors: the FeO percentage in the center, the more magnetic, that is Fe2O3, the more magnetic